not sure if you've noticed, but certain products around us have become, well, black. The darkness has started to creep into our food and our personal care products. Have you managed to guess what I'm talking about? It's charcoal. There is charcoal ice cream, waffles, burgers, and buns. And they are in our beauty products too. Charcoal face wash, masks, and soaps with the promise of exfoliating, purifying, and absorbing oil from your skin. There's also charcoal deodorants, which is said to help fight bacteria and naturally eliminate odors. And you may be familiar with this: charcoal toothbrushes and, of course, toothpaste, with claims of whitening and antibacterial properties. Applying these charcoal products for deep cleaning and whitening, it seems counterintuitive. So in this episode of Talking Point, I want to investigate charcoal in our foods, in our personal care products. Is it really a miracle ingredient? This is an activity that comes to most of our minds at the mention of charcoal. A barbecue. Hey Ramesh, just in time, man. Thanks for coming by. Joining me is food scientist Ramesh Krishkumar. And I want to know how this ended up in our food, skincare, and personal hygiene items. Actually, I want to ask you about these charcoal.
Oh yes.
Is this the stuff that we're seeing in all our beauty products, our food, the stuff that's going inside our body?
It's very different, Steve. So
Yeah?
the one that you're using is normal charcoal, right?
Okay.
But the one we use in beauty products or food products is called activated charcoal.
What is activated charcoal?
So activated charcoal is, we take sawdust, for example, wood, or any type of carbon-based material, and it undergoes very, very high temperatures, and then we introduce gas, so the structure of the charcoal will change.
How does it change?
So for example, if this is your ordinary charcoal, by going through this activation process, it forms a lot of gaps and holes. So it creates a lot of porous structures. So if you're using it for air filtration, for water filtration, or even to purify food in one way or another, it actually traps the different material.
So it's not the same as this kind of charcoal here?
Yeah, so this guy is really very compact, so it's not going to absorb any form of toxins or do purification in water, air, or any other product.
So Singapore's largest online supermarket, Redmart, told Talking Point that charcoal toothpaste, charcoal toothbrushes and shampoo are among the best-selling charcoal products in 2022. But you know what? I'm most curious about charcoal toothpaste and toothbrushes because I've used them before. And they claim to deep clean, to whiten your teeth, but do they really work? Only one way to find out. So I'm going to brush my teeth with charcoal toothpaste and a charcoal toothbrush. Before I start on my experiment, I'm making a visit to the dentist to get some baseline markers for how clean and white my teeth are. Yes. So I'm thinking I might do an experiment with my teeth using charcoal toothpaste. How do you think I should approach this?
How about you brush on one side with the charcoal toothpaste, and then on the other side with the other toothpaste that you want to compare it with.
Okay.
And during this time, let's give it a period of like 3 weeks, okay, where you can go out and have all the colorful foods and drinks that you like. So the red pasta sauces instead of the carbonara, curry.
Right.
You like your coffee,
Yep.
more red wine.
But basically just to see whether they will stain the teeth.
Yeah, so you want to go for foods that will stain the white shirt that you probably have trouble washing off. Those will be the foods that will stain your teeth more.
Okay, so half and half. Okay, yeah, I think I can do that.
But first, maybe we can do some cleaning so we can even out the playing field.
Sure, let's go.
Okay, yeah. Okay, Steve, we're gonna take some photos of your teeth, okay? Smile, cheese, good.
The dentist checked for the amount of plaque on my teeth as well as the shade. She recommends a 3-week regime as it is the minimum optimal time to see whitening results for any type of toothpaste. Alright, so here we go. Got my black charcoal toothbrush. I've got my charcoal toothpaste. Half and half, right? Alright. Feels fresh and clean. Now for my regular toothpaste on a regular toothbrush. Okay. So my mouth feels nice and clean, minty, fresh. I can't really tell any difference from the side with the charcoal and the side which doesn't have the charcoal. I guess it's day one, but maybe in a few days we'll see some kind of difference. Oh. You know, this whole half and half brushing can get a bit tiring because it means double the time. You're brushing half with, you know, charcoal toothpaste, half without. Can I brush both sides at the same time? Let's try it. Like toothpaste, clear toothpaste, half and half. A week in, and honestly, I can't tell if the products are doing their job better than regular toothbrush and toothpaste. But I press on. Meanwhile, I want to look into other charcoal beauty products.
Even with the face mask, we don't know the purity and the actual concentration of charcoal in them.
The benefits of activated charcoal go way back to the mid-1800s. Back then, raw sugar from sugarcane or beets was tainted by flavor and color impurities, which had to be removed by passing them through beds of charcoal. The increase in demand of sugar in Europe prompted traders to search for a more efficient way to purify raw sugar, leading to the discovery of activated charcoal around 1820. Compared to ordinary charcoal, the activated kind could draw more impurities at a faster rate because of its higher absorbency properties. So much so that by the end of the 1900s, it was even used to purify water, and in medical settings to prevent poison from being absorbed from the stomach into the body. So for centuries, charcoal has been used as an antidote for poisonings, but now we find it in our personal and oral care products, because companies claim it can also absorb the nasties from our skin, hair, and teeth. Activated charcoal is said to act like a sponge when added to our personal care and beauty products. It supposedly chooses the impurities and excess oil to bind to and remove, helping to brighten and whiten your skin, and also keep it free of bacteria. Plus, its slightly gritty texture could even provide some gentle exfoliation to keep your skin looking younger. It does sound promising, but I want to know just how effective they can be when applied on the surface of my skin. I'm consulting the medical director of an aesthetic clinic. He spent the last 12 years working on skin disorders, including treating patients with severe acne. So these days there are claims for so many things, you know, that have charcoal. This one says it's a face wash, it's deep cleaning. This one promises to remove odor, antibacterial. And this one says it will absorb oil. So does it really work, all these things?
Well, we have a lack of actually medical evidence right now with large-scale studies to support any of these claims.
Okay.
There are a lot of products out there with charcoal in them, and they claim to do quite a lot of things. But really, the question is how much of it is maybe other properties like soap that's really helping with these claims.
So in other words, in all these products, we actually don't know whether the charcoal is working in any of them at all.
Right, exactly, and there are no studies to show what is actually the optimal amount of charcoal or the concentration of charcoal that's needed for it to actually work. Whether it's 2%, 5%, or what's the quantity to get whatever beneficial result that we desire.
Historically, charcoal has been used to help remove impurities. So till today, you mean we still don't have any studies to prove whether it really works?
Right, so before, charcoal was used to remove impurities and toxins. That could be from food or for other stuff. And so what medical research does is that we take what was said and then we try to prove that it's true. And unfortunately, so far, in terms of the studies done, they have not been able to prove conclusively that charcoal does have any benefits in terms of skincare for acne, for removing oil. And so because of that, we cannot actually promote the use of charcoal in skincare because there is just no conclusive evidence so far.
But then again, one could argue that you are an aesthetic doctor. I mean, these products, if they really work, it would kind of be bad for business for you, right?
Well, I mean, I used to work in the National Skin Centre before, and even then, we've never used any kind of skincare products that have charcoal inside, simply because from a medical standpoint, there hasn't been any conclusive evidence to suggest that it works. In terms of the quantity or the concentration of charcoal that is needed to use. So in medicine, we do need to be very accurate in terms of, if it works, and how does it work, and how much concentration there is for it to work. So we need to tie them all back before we can say, oh, okay, yeah, it works, and therefore we can promote it in skincare.
If that's the case, then why do we still keep putting charcoal in all these products?
I would suppose that in a lot of cases, these are all marketing gimmicks. So people buy into the theory that maybe charcoal does have beneficial effects. So then it works out in terms of marketing for these products.
So many personal care products claim that activated charcoal can deep cleanse and improve the texture of our skin. While there really are no conclusive studies, these claims are based on the well-known detoxifying properties of activated charcoal. So whether or not it's the charcoal that is really doing the work is, I suppose, debatable. I wonder if that's the case with oral care as well. Okay guys, so as my dentist recommended, I've been trying to eat food that can stain my teeth. So lately I've been having more curries, drinking a bit more red wine, and one of my favorites, squid ink pasta. All this to see if the charcoal toothpaste and toothbrush is doing its work better in removing stains compared to the regular toothpaste and toothbrush. Okay, so I've decided to switch to a new toothbrush because I've noticed that the bristles on this one that I've been using for about 10 days starting to seem to wear out. You can see it's a bit white. So the activated charcoal, which coats it, I guess, is wearing out. Maybe it's just me, but I realized the regular stuff isn't as nice, it's not as pleasant. The charcoal stuff seems to be a lot less harsh in the mouth. Okay, it's been about 2 weeks since I started this experiment, and I realized that this tube of toothpaste doesn't seem to last as long as a regular tube of toothpaste, and it costs like 4 times more. So, whoa. Now, for the regular stuff. Here we go. I gotta say I'm pretty excited because it's the final day of the experiment, and I'm actually pretty curious to find out if these guys really made any kind of a difference on this side of my mouth. It's time for another checkup with Dentist Z. Hello.
Hey Steve, how are you? How
I'm
did you
good,
go?
thanks. Yeah, and I'm back. Want to see how this all went?
Let's start by taking the shake test.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
Come have a seat.
You.
Alright. Okay, I'm not really seeing too much of a difference. When you look over here, between this side and this side, there's not a perceivable difference at all. How about we do a plug-in test? So we see whether one toothpaste actually cleans better than the other. Press it together. Thank you. I'll put the retractors on so we can see, and then we can show you in the mirror what it looks like, okay? You can hold on to that mirror. Yeah, so if you look at the lower, not too much of a difference there, is it? And then on the top, it's actually fairly even on both sides.
So this was 3 weeks ago, right? And this is today.
Yes, that's right. Can you see any difference there, Steve?
Not really.
That's right, I don't see any difference there. We can't tell from left to right, but you have been cleaning better, we can see that.
Oh, really? Okay, okay.
If I really nitpick at this, perhaps this tooth is a little bit darker, but this is a tooth that's more inset on the right-hand side. You might miss it with your brush sometimes.
But for the toothpaste and teeth specifically, whitening is one of the main claims. I mean, is there any concern that if I use it for too long, can that actually have harmful effects?
I mean, any toothpaste that is labeled as whitening tend to be more on the abrasive side, and that's how they are aiming to work. By rubbing away the top surface of the enamel, and taking the stains out with it, you're taking out a little bit of the tooth as well. Yeah, so long-term use of that could thin out the enamel. You could be, inviting more sensitivity.
Charcoal is an abrasive substance. The grittiness it provides can have a temporary stain-removing effect on our teeth. But it's also harsh enough, such that if used every day for a prolonged duration, it can wear away the top layer of our teeth. I reached out to major manufacturers which market charcoal-enhanced personal care products. I want to know why they've included charcoal in their products. All declined to respond to Talking Point. The only reply I got was from British cosmetic retailer Lush, which introduced charcoal into some of their products 28 years ago. The company said it included activated charcoal because charcoal can help in reducing excess oil, deep cleansing, and exfoliating. But it also added that it uses a combination of other ingredients with charcoal to achieve maximum benefits. Guess it's almost impossible to pinpoint that it's the charcoal doing the work in all these beauty products. Which got me wondering, what if activated charcoal was to be consumed? So it was actually back in 2013, about 10 years ago, when charcoal first started popping up in our restaurants and eateries all across Singapore. You had them in your dessert places like your waffles, then your burgers, your buns, and now even coffee and noodles. What I really want to know, does activated charcoal improve the flavor of our food? It's time for my favorite part of the job, a taste test.
I can't taste the difference.
I can't taste the difference either. Black ice cream, waffles, burgers, buns. I'm sure you've seen them around. They contain activated charcoal, a jet black powder which is said to help with detoxing. But I've often wondered if this inky ingredient makes them a dark horse when it comes to flavor. I guess this calls for a taste test. To remove any bias, my testers will be blindfolded. They will be fed waffles, salted egg yolk buns, and ice cream. I'll pit them against their non-charcoal versions. My testers, Talking Point viewers who have volunteered for this assignment. We're starting with the salted egg yolk bun.
I can't taste the difference.
I can't taste the difference either.
I tasted salted egg.
Yeah, it's more like custard.
Next up, ice cream. Wow, this one tastes sweeter though. Do you guys find the second one sweeter?
Yes.
Yeah. But there's a very earthy taste to it, is it?
And for our last item, waffles. Okay, tastes like a normal waffle. Sounds like a normal waffle.
How should I smell it? Is that a smell?
You're not supposed to smell it.
It's very hard this time. Tastes the same actually.
It's crunchier.
Could just mean they left it in the pan a bit longer.
Yeah, but in terms of taste, I couldn't really tell the difference.
In fact, this one feels like it has less taste. For the most part, my tasters could not tell the difference between the charcoal food items and the regular ones. Except for the charcoal ice cream, which was described as tasting earthier by one taster, and the charcoal waffle, which two of my tasters said felt crunchier. Chef Charles Tan introduced charcoal waffles to his menu 8 years ago. I want to know why he did it, if charcoal doesn't really enhance the flavor of our food.
So with the taste test we just did, we noticed that some people could tell the difference, some people could not tell the difference whether the food is charcoal or not. Is charcoal really supposed to enhance the flavor of food?
I think the amount of charcoal inside, you can't really taste it, and I think probably why they can tell the difference because charcoal gives it a grainy texture. Actually, you can hardly taste charcoal, so many people are usually using it for more of the appearance and aesthetics wise.
So is that why chefs are using charcoal more these days?
Yes, it has a very nice jet black color, so it's very good for appearance wise. For me, one of the main reasons why I'm using charcoal for my waffles because it helps to keep it crispier. So with the charcoal, it actually helps it retain its texture.
Also, it stays crispy for a longer period of time.
Definitely crispier than the usual waffle batter.
And how does the charcoal make your waffles crispier?
What the charcoal does, it draws out moisture from the batter itself, so it retains the texture better. So with lesser moisture, it definitely makes the waffle crispier.
When it comes to using charcoal in your food, is there any other reason besides texture? What about health benefits? Any health benefits from using charcoal in your food?
For charcoal-wise, the amount we add in is very little, so it's almost negligible. There's actually no health benefit for charcoal for that amount.
This is activated charcoal powder. You can easily find it in retail shops selling baking products and even some supplement stores. Now, some people use it to bake. And some people even sprinkle it on their toothpaste. Whew. But I've learned that beyond just giving your food and personal care products a trendy black hue and perhaps a slightly different texture to some food,
We still don't know for sure if it really does all that it claims to do: detoxify and cleanse. That's it. In theory, activated charcoal does have detoxifying properties. So while there are no large-scale conclusive studies about its efficacy, experts still think it's pretty safe to use.